Plan is that with tonight's performance, obviously Deontay is right there in the top two ratings, top 2 or 3 ratings in the WBC. With the news we got last week that Vitaly Klitschko is going to be running for president of the Ukraine, I anticipate that he will no longer fight and that the title will become vacant. And my goal is to have Deontay fight in his next fight for the WBC heavyweight championship against Chris Stavern. And so that's the goal. And then after that, go for Vladimir Klitschko, unify all titles and become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. That was the plan, that is the plan, and I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to get it done, because I know the man on my right here is going to do everything in the ring to make that plan come true. Yeah. So give it up for Deontay Wilder.
How y'all guys doing tonight? I feel good. I hope y'all feel good. Hope I answered a lot of questions tonight. You know, everybody want rounds and stuff like that, but I think, you know, the rounds that we put in, that was a exciting fight. I told people that first it was going to be a tough dude. You know, I was in the Klitschko camp with him, and I seen how he was taking punches from Vladimir, man, and you know, even though he was taking them, but he was tough. He kept coming. So I knew he was going to be a tough guy. You know, when people, you know, would doubt him, oh, he's this, he's that. I'm like, yo, this dude tough. He got me off guard. That charge thing, man, that was crazy. But it was good, and he was real. And I'm like, what is wrong with this dude, man? You know, so it kind of got off guard. But once I got into it, man, it was like, yo, this is great. This is what I need. This is what I want to see. So I'm happy with the results. My team are too. So I hope y'all guys are a little bit pleased with it as well. Yes, sir, Lynn.
Clearly, you had asked him for one-on-ones, you know, about himself. You and I talked about it. He clearly was trying to land the right hand. He's clearly trying to catch you from the side. Given that you did that tonight, was that a good experience for you?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, he, even though he was wild with it, you know, he caught me with some shots, man. He definitely did, and you know, I'm proud of him, though. You know what I mean? I don't know him too much well, but he's a great guy, man. He's a great guy, definitely outside the ring. And it's tough when you're in the camp for so long with an individual and you kind of build bonds with them. And so it makes it that much harder to fight guys like that. But this is a business, this is what you have to do. But I definitely took some of his punches, though. So it's no doubt that I can take a punch. This thing is, I'm not just going to risk my I'm not going to stick my head out and say, hit me. You know, you see how handsome I am? I'm marketable, man. I'm trying to get endorsements.
Deontay,
yes, sir.
You were in camp. Could you explain that again? You were in camp with Nikolai?
Correct. We was both in the Klitschko camp together. This time last year, we both.
Which Klitschko was it that you were in camp with?
Vladimir. When Vladimir was fighting Marius Wach, Deontay and Nick were both in camp in sparring.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it looked like the only round you had problems in was the first round.
Correct.
I think he hit you with a jab and you kind of staggered. Did he step on your foot? What was it?
No, I didn't stagger from the punch, definitely. I think we did get tangled up with foots and stuff like that, but from the punch, it definitely didn't get it from there. And in the first round, you know, like I said, his strategy, they had a great strategy. His strategy was, you know, because I had a whole different persona of him because I was going back into the time that we was in camp together and stuff like that, because I really don't look at videos for nobody because I know everybody got a different tactic of coming in, a different strategy coming in and fight, so it's going to change up. So by him just coming, acting a maniac, man, it really threw me off for a little bit, and then I had to get myself together. And then that's when you start seeing the sniper rifle coming out with the jabs and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
What? Excuse me, we couldn't hear you.
Povetkin losing, doesn't that make the WBA title vacant? Oliver can't hold both, can he?
The regular
title. Vladimir has all 3 titles. That was a mandatory he won. And I think he's going to have a WBO mandatory next and then an IBF mandatory. And by then we're going to be ready to take all 3 belts.
Exactly.
Does he have anybody in mind next to bring him in with? Such as a Brian
Well,
Jennings or a...
No. We're not going to go and do that. We are in line to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. That's what we're going to do.
Almost definitely. I mean, I'm 6'7", man. My reach, as you seen tonight, it's only get better from there. You know what I mean? Just the jabs alone. In this fight, I kind of made up my mind. I almost made up my mind to not throw not one right hand at all, just to prove. You know what I mean? I like proving people wrong. That's one of my things. I get excited about proving people wrong, and it's kind of an energy proof of, you think I can't do this, but let me prove you wrong and see who look crazy in the end. But it'll be the same way with Stavern. Just jab. He'll have to try to come and get in on me. He'll try to get in. I'm just not gonna just let you in there. And then there's a lot of other things I have, man. Tonight, I tell everybody I got different weapons in my bags. That's why I cock myself when they say, Deontay, the bronze bomber, I'm cocking it. You know what I mean? Because I'm about to let these guns explode. But tonight I have my sniper rifle out. So, one more time. Once I start counting steps and start seeing body movement from him, because I look at so many different things, just not I don't look at the hands, I don't look at the head, I look at the whole body, and I study the body and their approach every time they come in. So once I start getting his steps to when he want to come in, because every time he rushed in, he lowered the shoulder down, so that allowed me to counter him, and when he come in to throw the hook and stuff, and what really changed the momentum of the fight was a stiff jab. And me and Mark Breland worked on that before coming out. That was the game plan to keep the stiff jab, and that was the momentum changer of the fight.
All right, I want to acknowledge as well Deontay's training team, Jay and Mark, terrific. It's not just one guy, it's a team effort to go to the top, and Deontay has a great team behind him. I want to thank as well Al Heyman and Shelley and everyone who are there as his advisors and his manager. As a team, we will go there and we will get there and we will go far. Thank you.
Thank y'all guys.
Gabriel Rosado and Peter Quillin here. Is that right? Kid Chocolate.
He's going to be reporting the rubber.
And Gabriel Rosado as well. So let's bring both of those guys here. Right here. Come on, right here.
It's been a while. I still got the shirt on, but this guy...
Great fight, I think very entertaining fight, and as I said at the press conference in New York earlier this week, I knew that those guys came to fight. Gabriel Rosado came here to win the title, become middleweight champion, and so did Furta. He came to fight, and so did Hopkins-Murat. I think it was a great fight. It was a very entertaining fight. The crowd was certainly into it, and in the end, the doctor took the decision to stop the fight. Gabriel Rosado, the warrior he is, of course, wanted to keep on going, was insisting to keep on going, but the doctor had different plans. But irrespective of that, I think tonight we don't have any losers. We have two winners up here, two great fighters, a world champion with Peter Quillin, who defended his title and showed what he was all about, and Gabriel Rosado, who came to fight, and the kind of fighter who never quits, the kind of fighter people want to see, an entertainer and a very entertaining fight and a very entertaining fighter. So now I'd like to give it first to the world champion, Peter Quillin, to make some comments.
Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you to Golden Boy. Thank you to Al Heyman. Thank you, most importantly, to Gabriel Rosado. This fight wasn't just like a fight that, I came in here thinking that it was going to be an easy night. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's going to be a hard test for me. He came in here and tried to do his best, and he threw punches. I can never expect when I throw a punch at somebody that they're not able to throw a punch back. I'm just very gracious and very humble with this experience. I'm not going to think that I'm better than what a lot of people would think. I think that I have a lot of improvements to make and suck up and learn from this performance and get better if I want to target some of the best out there. Most importantly, he had a lot of fans here, man. That's was definitely a good thing to see, that a guy like Gabe, what he brings to the table. He brought a lot of fans, a lot of Philly people came, and I never expected that coming into the fight. But I fought through it, and I just try to do what I was able to do, and now I have to go back to the tape and review my performance and just see what I did wrong and see what I can do better, and just keep trying to strive. Same thing in life. You can't stop striving and getting better. Even the leaves on the trees fall away, and I gotta just keep striving and just try to keep better. Hold up, before I start, I just wanted to do that to this mic. I always wanted to do that. Man, I'm just very humble, man. I thank God every day, man, because, without him, nothing is possible. And I don't mean that in no other way besides, waking up every day and allowing to live to see the day. And whether if it's bad or good, I get to look forward to a better day. My wife, during this camp, had a miscarriage, and I struggled with being away from her. And, I had to work through so many challenges, but I think that I have to keep reminding myself that I want to be where I'm at today without thanking God, because he wouldn't allow me to be where I'm at today if it wasn't for my strength and myself. So thank you for coming out, watching this fight. Thank you, Gabe, for putting up just, game performance. Thank you, Richard and Golden Boy. Thank you, Al Heyman. Thanks to my manager, John Seed and Jimmy McDevitt. I want to thank my belt. Thank you to this mic, too.
Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Gabriel if you want to make some comments, and then you guys can ask questions for both guys.
First and foremost, it's on. All right. First and foremost, I just want to thank God that me and Peter walked out the ring healthy. A guy, Frankie, just passed away in the ring, and he hasn't been getting a lot of press, but we fighters die in the ring, so this is real. So I always pray. I never pray for a win. I always pray that me and the fighter walk out healthy, and that God's will be done. So God works in mysterious ways, and this is happening for a reason. I don't know why, but it's in God's hands. But to get on to the fight, I feel like boxing is soft nowadays. I feel like it needs to go back to how it was in the 80s. This fight would have never got stopped back in the day. Gotti fought many wars in AC, got cut, and they let it ride. And he was a warrior. You look at fights like Castillo and Chico, those were great fights because they let those fights go. Can you imagine if the referee stopped those fights? You would never have great fights. The referee and the doctor ruined what could have been a great finish. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should have never stopped this fight. The fight was a competitive fight. It was a close fight going into those later rounds. But in a championship fight, it gets real when it's them championship rounds. And I was feeling confident going into those rounds. And even though I got cut, I never let it bother me. And matter of fact, when the ref stopped it, I felt like I was being the aggressor. And then the ref comes and stops it. And I'm telling them I could see. I fought Triple G, and I had 2 cuts over the same eye, and it was the worst cut. And the ref let it ride. So, I don't feel like the cut was that serious. And when a fight is competitive, you shouldn't stop it. You should let it ride out, let it play out, see what's going to happen. For them, they stopped it prematurely. You know what I'm saying? It was too competitive. This is a serious fight for them to stop it and mess. Like, I was begging the ref and the doc, like, yo, look, I worked my whole life for this. Like, don't ruin this for me. Like, let me get this last round in. At least give me this last round. So I just feel like boxing is just way too soft right now. It's like, they ruined what could have been a great finish. You know what I'm saying? And but I think it's the type of fight that with the fans, the way the fans reacted to it, I think it's a type of fight where it makes for a great rematch. And I think that that's what should happen. I think this fight is worthy of a rematch, and I think a rematch would be even better than the first time.
All right, any questions?
If you do the rematch, what would you want to fight?
Shutout or to be suspended.
Oh, can I say something real quick, Ken? For two judges to have me not win not even one round, and one judge only had me win one round, is ridiculous. The commentators had me, two commentators had to fight a draw, and one of the commentators had me up a round. So for the judges to have me not win no rounds, and one only had me win one round, is a disgrace. And those judges deserve to be suspended. And for real, man, we need to make a change in this sport, man. Like, judges is ruining fighters' lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm the type of fighter where I live and I breathe boxing, and I deserve a fair shot. And if I would have dropped Peter in the last 3 rounds, I still would have lost the fight. That's crazy. If he would have went down in them last 3 rounds, I still would have lost the fight on points. So that's how crazy that scoring was.
Let's talk an knockdown round. It's different than a fight, like, good. Huge deserve.
Okay. Excuse me, you asked the question.
If you would want the rematch, what would you want to fight?
Hey, why not back here? You know what I mean? I think we'll pack this place. This is a great fight. You know what I'm saying? Take nothing away from Peter. The man is not a champion for nothing. You know what I'm saying? He worked hard. You know what I'm saying, to get to where he's at. You know what I'm saying? I think you know, Peter has a great attitude, and I always said that, you know, that's what makes him a champion, is his attitude. He's not confident. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I think, why not here, right?
Richard, what do you say about that rematch?
Well, I'm going to be discussing it with Peter and with his team, and then with Showtime as well, and with Gabriel. You heard that obviously Gabe would love to have the rematch, and I think it was definitely a fight which deserves a rematch. But I'll have to see with Showtime and with Peter's team and see what we're going to do next.
Does Peter have any other commitments before that possible rematch? Does he have other commitments?
No, but we have to see, you know, as a team, you know, I think we did have made some plans, but, you know, we have nothing locked in. So I'm not saying yes and I'm not saying no. I'm saying as a fan, I certainly would like to see the fight again.
I know you haven't gone and looked at the tape yet, but you've already said that you feel there are some things that you need to work on. What are you thinking about because of the way the fight went? What are the things you think you need to work on?
You know, you can always throw more punches. You can always move your head a little bit more. You can always fight a little harder. You know, being a boxer, I think even with 30 fights now, I'm still looking for a dignifying performance. You know, I think you can never consider yourself very complete until the end of your career where you just live up to your potential. And I still think that I'm out there trying to live up to my potential and, you know, figuring things out. You know, fortunately, I've just been, you know, going out there and putting my best foot forward, and I've just been winning.
How difficult was it for you to continue going through the thing, given what happened in your first go-round? I mean, that's a lot.
When you grow up with roaches and rats, you grow up with like little thick skin. I grew up, you know, with very thick skin to know that, you know, I wouldn't be here if God didn't think I was strong enough to be here. And I think that's what made me a champion. And it's like going through all what I've been through, all the struggles and overcoming all that. Just I look at life in a totally different way than just an average person. I know I just don't have black in my heart or anything bad in my heart. I want to see everybody win, even Gabe. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at. So at the end of the day, as long as I keep what's true inside of me, then I ain't really losing nothing.
How is it being said on here to do the rematch? How would you consider it? How do you feel about that?
I would say, why not? You know, I'm not Richard Schaefer. I'm not Al Heyman. I'm not the matchmakers that make the fights. I'm not Showtime. You know, my job is to go in the gym and prepare for the fights they present to me. Let me know how much money I'm gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And I go in the gym. You know, make sure I got my training bonus. Then I'm gonna go and prepare.
I mean, look, this is very refreshing. These are two fighters who fight anyone. I mean, Gabe Rosado is never going to turn down a fight. We know that. And nor is Peter Quillin, Kid Chocolate. And I think this is why it makes these two guys so special.
All right. You,
Comment on the knockdown in the second round. You think that you were in for an early night? Actually, seeing the kickstart game. Just a comment.
You know, when Trinidad got knocked down, he came back even stronger. He got back up and, you know, come back even stronger. You know, Gabe is Puerto Rican. He's, you know, the same descent of Fiji Trinidad. So why would he not get back up and come back stronger? So it's not up to me to say how strong he's able to come back. And that's what make a true champion is somebody that can get knocked down, get back up, and, you know, finish the fight.
Yeah, that knockdown pissed me off because I was backing into his corner, so I was like forced to pivot to right into the shot. So that's why I went down. It was like a flash knockdown. I wasn't hurt, but I was just like, you know what I mean, like, damn, man. I'm saying, like, shit, because I felt like I was doing good in that round. So, but it was a good shot. I mean.
All right, thank you, guys. Please. Okay.
Even
last question here. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Besides the knockdown, you know, you two landed hellacious bombs on each other throughout the fight. Was there ever a point where you thought, you know, you might be in trouble?
No, I don't never think like that. I think being dedicated to what your team is, we work so hard for, and staying conditioned to that. That's what's more important, and that's what lets you know if we can execute what my trainer is trying to tell me. And I'm just, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't take anything from this guy and his performance. It was a gutsy performance, and we gave the fans something truly what they wanted to see. So I'm thankful. Again, thank you, Richard, and I'm thankful for all the media that covered all this.
All right, thank you very much. Give it up to great fighters. And we, people from planet Earth, we have just been graced with the presence of an alien. And I think we've seen some alien moves tonight. This was more than an age-defining performance. This was really an alien ass-kicking, unbelievable performance from Bernard Hopkins, totally in control, showed a little bit of everything, extremely entertaining fight, and I think everyone who was here tonight and everyone who watched it on Showtime and around the world will say, well, so who said that Bernard Hopkins fights were boring? This was one of the most entertaining fights I've seen, and so give it up to the alien and still light heavyweight champion Bernard Hopkins.
Thanks, Richard. Tough. That's why every fighter that I talk to, especially Kid Chocolate and Rosario, you have to take everybody seriously. And for the reporters out there, now you know why all this week you was asking me, everybody, Bernard, Fernandez, all my guys that, you know, right for this sport. No one. I know, you know, you talk about age and Bernard, you know, you did well no matter what, but you take no one for granted. You take nothing for granted and no one lightly. And that's what you're seeing tonight. You're seeing a game guy coming to try to win. Tough, take a good shot. And I'm just glad that he brought, you know, the dog out of me. And, you know, very often you see me get hit with any type of punches, but I know I have one of the best chins in boxing. I just don't get hit often. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we were trying to just working on that and try to limit the next fight, you know, whenever it comes, that, you know, you keep things tight. But it was a good fight. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope the fans enjoyed it. Sound like they enjoyed it. And the alien don't get old. So I think that, you know, when you talk about Bernard Hopkins, I think it'd be smart to say Bernard and not age or not numbers, because it's getting old. Talking about age with me, it's starting to get old, just like, you know, an old fighter. You know, I think you talk about the legacy and talk about something that you're witnessing that you probably won't see in a long time. And, you know, hopefully you will, but I'm hoping no time soon. You know, so any questions or anything?
Bernard.
Yes.
What was that all about? You were gesturing or talking to his corner. I think it was round 8.
I don't know if it was round 8 or 7. He was asking me what was I saying in the other corner.
You kept on leaning and looking looking at his?
Well, I was talking to his corner. I was trying to negotiate with them to stop the damn fight because this guy was coming bleeding and take a lot of punishment. And listen, Steve Smoger is one of the best referees. I won my first title. He was a referee. So Steve Smoger is not one of those referees. For anyone that know, Steve Smoger would let a fight happen. But being Bernard Hopkins and knowing being in the game, I said, Steve, won't you stop? I said, man, you look at this. So he wouldn't listen. So I looked at the corner and I said, look, man, this guy's all cut up. I'm just going to keep beating him. And I'm going to keep getting him. I'm going to keep getting him. And, you know, and it's going to get ugly lately. So, you know, that's what I did. They didn't listen, though. They didn't listen. And y'all got a chance to see a couple more rounds. But it was good, though. It was good. It was a good workout. I think from 14 months being 50, with not a bruise on my face, I think that's damn good, Richard. I think that's the head of the game. And I'm not bragging, y'all. No, seriously. I'm not being diplomatic. You're right, Richard. I can brag, but I'm just I'm blessed, and I'm just glad I know that if you duck more than you take, you can count your own money later on. Dan Raphael, thank you.
Two questions for you. One, when you slipped early in the fight, I think it beat you a couple of times when you were down. I'm surprised it's Smoger didn't take the point because it seemed like a very fleetwood kind of fight.
No, because I hit a lot of people in my career when he was down. Yeah, it was on their way down, you know, whether it's a slip, whether it's that, and not a foul, but down to the point where, you know, a fighter is in the instincts of throwing punches. Sometimes the guy's at the bottom rope, sometimes he's falling down. I mean, it's all game. I mean, no, Dan, I mean, you know, there are rules, but when you're in that ring, you're fighting, it's a fight, man. And sometimes, you know, guys' energy, I don't think he's done it on purpose. I think roughed Bernard up. He looked at some tapes and he figured if he roughed me up or whatever the case might be, that he'd get advantage somehow. But, I mean, it didn't bother me. You know, Steve Smoger, I think, did it. Well, I know he did a great job, and certain things he's seen, certain things he didn't see, but that's the name of the game. You're only wrong when you get caught. This is boxing. When the last time I was in that type of fight, my sister Bernadette Hopkins somewhere around here. Where's she at? Where's Bernadette? She's right behind you. My sister, that's my older sister. So if you don't know what type of fight I was in, trust me. She's sitting right there. But I got you, Dan. I got you. It's been a long time. You're right. It's been a long time. But it is my older sister. I know. No. I know what come close to that? It's Segundo Mercado's first fight in Quito, Ecuador, when I got knocked down twice for the first time in my career. And I fought my way back in his hometown, or his country, to a draw in Quito, Ecuador, 1994, I believe. Any more questions?
That round when you had him almost out, you were calling to their corner to stop the fight. Were you surprised that he actually came back and fought?
Yeah. Yep. But I knew he was tough. But that's watching film or whatever. But yeah, he's a game. That's what I'm telling you. If you had a kink in your demeanor or heart or determination to press on, and he the type of guy that will make you really doubt yourself if you're not convinced you are who you are. And because he's that tough, he's a tough guy. I mean, he got there for a reason, and that's why I showed tonight that you can't take no one for granted. I mean, I trained for this fight like it could have been any other super fight. I mean, you know, I step up when it's super fights, but I stepped up for this one because I knew this was sort of that could be a bump in the road type thing. He was a bump, but I got over the hump. That sounds like a rap, don't it? Yes.
Did you like everything about this fight in terms of the dog fight, brawl, even the element of Steve Smoger being there because he was there when you fought Phil's today?
Listen, yes. I mean, I'm a Philly fighter. And if I have to be a dog, you know, not calling myself one, but y'all know what I mean.
in boxing and sports. If you got to bite down and do what you have to do, and you on my ass, I got to rumble. I mean, come on, I can rumble, and you know, the people that been follow me, whether they reporters or whatever, they see me bite down. You know, they see me bite down. And if I'm in a situation, especially, you know, this stage in my career where, you know, I'm not going to be running around the ring trying to, you know, every round outbox a guy. I mean, I can. I have the legs to do it, the wills, but I can sit in that pocket. You've seen 4 or 5 different styles. When y'all go home and y'all watch the tape next week, this week, tomorrow, whatever, you've seen the Philadelphia style that a lot of fighters use today, and y'all think it was just invented. It wasn't. We've been doing this. We've been doing this since the Georgie Benton days. They're letting the shoulder roll. You've seen Mariah Carr hit that shoulder, and I stayed in the pocket, and I let him fire right off the shoulder and count on him every time because he's a comer. So this stuff is not new to us. It's not new to me. So if you've been watching, I did 5 different styles tonight. You didn't see one thing. And that confused Murat. That really confused him because my hand speed, he was shocked. Then my counter punching, he was shocked. Then my sudden power. I'm not the biggest puncher in the world, but I can get your attention. I can get your attention. And that's all that counts. Next question. Bernard Fernandez?
Yeah.
Where you at? Oh, okay.
I guess the next question is, now that this fight has passed, this is for both of you guys, what's up next, or what might be up next?
Well, you know, obviously we want a big fight, and there's some big names out there, and so we'll have to see what who's going to step up. Maybe some of those youngsters changed their minds after tonight's performance. So you're not making it necessarily easier for me, Bernard, with a performance like that, okay?
I know.
But we are going to do whatever we can to get the biggest possible fight.
Yes, Mr. V. And this is, hey, Mr. V, let everybody know so they know how long my fans are. Tell what grade you taught me in school.
Bernard was in 4th grade and 9 years of age, and I was teaching him Latin for 2 years and coaching him in basketball for 2 years, an excellent ball player. And I want to ask you with this shirt, Bernard, this is the Pavlik shirt, the night in this building.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would ask you to give a comment when you have fought young fighters who had almost never lost, and they were beaten so badly in the fights by you that some of them even quit boxing, like Pavlik, Trinidad quit for a while. Could you comment on young boxers who come in, the odds are 5-1, they're going to beat you up, and then all of a sudden they turn to Pavlik, whom at the end of the fight, you went up and 5 minutes in the ring, counseled him like a father. It was astounding what you did.
Well, I think what happens when a fighter that's undefeated and he's young, and he goes in the ring and he gets schooled by a professor, he's been led to believe before he blossomed to be what he can be if he's successful and given the right medicine. It messed with their mind and their soul and their spirit. And once that is breached, the young fighter can't find himself back to where he once started from. That's why the Jermaine Tellers, not great fighters, but potential great fighters if they'd have been in the game longer, Kelly Pavlik, and the other fighters that was younger, believe it or not, I seem to be able to, and it's out there, and it makes Richard's job even harder because you're going up against a guy like myself, and if you don't get knocked out, your career could be 90% over. And so I've stopped a lot of dreams. I've stopped the guys from reaching what I've reached. If it's just winning a championship title that could have easily been in the Hall of Fame if Bernard Hopkins wasn't there. But we live in a microwave society where it's more of the hype and the promotion than actually what they're going to be as blossom flower. They don't get a chance to do that. I mean, they get a chance to rack up wins. Don't get me wrong. They get a chance to fight But I'm saying that majority of the time, the young fighters don't get a chance to learn the game. And when you don't get a chance to learn the game and you run into an old fox like me, and you've been told and you've been led to believe that you don't stink, and they do, that is a mental challenge that they never recover. That's the mental backlash and the curse of Bernard Hopkins when I fight fighters that had potentials to be great, great fighters, but their career was cut short.
Exactly. Question for you, Richard. You just signed by Bruce Shubinoff. You also have Hopkins-Murat and Stevenson who are...
Yeah, just signed the WBA guy.
Okay, yeah. But then what about Floyd Mayweather? Just talk about all those...
I'd rather have Floyd than him, than the other guy. Listen, I'd rather have Floyd Mayweather. Listen, we've been, let me tell you something. Before we get into all this stuff, let me tell you something. I am willing to have All Access Showtime follow me for 13 months. Floyd Mayweather, I believe Richard gave me some math. I got 50-50 something, I guess, and he'll tell you what he mean by that. But if it's an opportunity, Richard can't make no one fight. They might look somewhere else. It's a thing, I'm available. If I have time between now and May, Bernard Hopkins, who don't walk around 5-6 pounds always fighting weight, you give me the May of next year, 2014, to make 160, that fight is on. That fight is on. That's Hagler and Hearns. That's Hagler and Leonard. That's Leonard and Hearns. We haven't had that type of urban, and again, this is like, we haven't had that type of urban two fighters, right? In many years, where you had a guy that's almost 37 in February, and a guy that's myself 49 January 15th in a couple of months. That experience, 80 plus years of experience, is like, wait a minute, can Bernard get down and be strong and compete? I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys that was undefeated. They wasn't Floyd Mayweather, but they was damn good fighters, and they had an O, and when they ran into Bernard Hopkins, that O was missing. So I don't think too many reporters will count me out, because they had counted me out many, many times before when I was 5-1, 6-1. But this won't be an easy task if this thing might be. But if it's not, it's not. There's nothing I'm chasing. There's no pressure on Richard Schaefer. There's no pressure on me. Truthfully, to be honest with you, I'd rather unify the title. I'd rather be a guy that have all the titles like I proved in the middleweight division. But it's a cold war going on. And that cold war going on is HBO don't want to do business with my family. And my family is Golden Boy Promotion. And I ride and die with people that ride and die with me. I don't want to talk about Floyd Mayweather anymore.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. There's a lot of names out there. I have a plan. I know what I'd like to do. I'm not going to go and tell you guys now who it's going to be, because that would be pretty stupid negotiating on my part. And I know how to get big fights done. I like to get big fights done because I enjoy it and the fans enjoy it, and that's what gets me going. And so what I was telling Bernard, one thing which sort of like is out there is that number 50. Bernard approaching 50 and Floyd Mayweather approaching 50-0, which is of course historic as well. We all know that Rocky Marciano retired as 49-0, and so Floyd is approaching a 50 number and Bernard is approaching a 50 number, and that sort of like gets my promotional juices going. And so we'll see, but Bernard is right. Nobody can be made to get into the ring with somebody else, but I will see what I can do to get the best possible fight. But there's some other names out there which I'm focusing on, and which would be historic and big in itself. So we will be discussing that internally, Bernard and me, and we'll take it from there. Yes.
Question for Nazim. Nazim, like your assessment of his performance tonight, I want to say that I thought Murat was a really good fighter. And I actually just shouted someone down on Twitter who said, Bernard beat a cab driver. I said, that's ridiculous. That guy was a really good fighter. So I really don't care for hearing anyone, shitting on that guy. I thought he was really good. He was much better than I expected. So I would like your assessment of the fight. Brother Nazim.
Thank you for that question. I was impressed with Bernard, but I was proud, not surprised. You know, Murat showed up like a lot of people will for a championship fight. There's guys you can beat at a certain level in boxing. You might beat a guy's butt in his 12th fight. You might knock him out in his 12th fight. But then when he gets a shot at the title, he may step up, become something different. And Murat tried to become that. You know, I was a little taken back by some of the tactics he implied. And I'll say this again, I know you're probably tired of hearing this. And I don't care how people take this. You know, I'm not whining, I'm not crying. My athlete can fight accordingly. But I'm really getting tired of the fact, and he gets on me by saying this, I'm tired of the fact that people feel they can come in and do what they want to my athlete because people said he's a dirty fighter. Nobody's produced any disqualifications. You haven't seen any points taken from this man. But people just put out there he's a dirty fighter, so everybody comes to the table feel like they can do whatever they want to him, and it's okay. He's supposed to just take it because he's a tough guy. There's rules in place for this. And like I said, my guy deserves to be protected like every other athlete deserves to be protected. I thought Smoker did the job he could do dealing with a guy like that. You know what I mean? So Smoker's a vet, so he's able to handle it. And like I say, my guy's going to bite down his mouthpiece and going to fight back. But Murat showed up with some tactics that really weren't necessary. But he did put forth a great effort, and we have to applaud him for that because we are entertained by it.
And I wasn't going to give them, to elaborate on what Nazim just said, I wasn't going to give my opponent the satisfaction to see that even he was doing something that he know that he was not supposed to do. Hey, listen, like I said, it's fighting and then it's boxing. And things happen. So I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction and get some more energy mentally and be able to think he's getting to me or I'm complaining. So I never said, I never said nothing to him, but I don't think I knew. I just wanted to continue to tag him and continue to do something. That's Nazim's job to say something to the referee or to say something at the press conference as he's saying now. But, to me...
Why you always get on me?
But see, to me, I know that, it's going to be what it's going to be. Sometimes, things happen. And my whole thing is that I'm going to win the fight. When I put my mind to something and I'm healthy, there's nothing Bernard Fernandez, anybody can stop me. Because I'm that strong, I'm an old soul, that if I put my mind to something, I don't care who say I can't do something. If I want to put my mind to something, it goes all the way back. I know y'all might be bored of hearing it. I'm so conditioned and knowing with my mind and mindset what I want to do. When I got to the stage where I said I'm not going back in nobody's jail cell no more, that was 26 years ago. When I make my mind up from big or small or in the middle, that I'm going to go through that wall, and no matter who try to stop me or convince me that it's not a good idea, once I assess every A to Z why I should go through that wall, I'm going through that wall. And that's how I walk through life. That's how I think. That's how I operate. And how can you beat a guy mentally that thinks that way? I'm too far in the game of success to be able to be swayed to think that doesn't have any merit to it, and it do. So, it was a great night. It was a great boxing. I don't want to keep you up to date because I'm hungry. And Richard got to take a long flight tomorrow. I love my fans. I love everybody. Atlantic City showed up, Richard. They showed up.
They showed up, yes. They were here. You heard the B-Hop chants. They showed up. All right, thank you all. Thank you for your support, and we're all excited to see you again, B-Hop.